It's showtime.
Hello.
And every week we will be discussing musicals, but specifically what they taught us.
Hello.
It's been a busy week.
It has been very busy, and it's just us again. I'm not used to not having a guest on. It's just us.
It's just us.
It literally is just us. Even EP Aaron has decided not to show up today.
Yeah, and we're not filming this week because we're so tired.
And we look like, we don't look great. I mean, I've just come from a 3-hour rehearsal, so nobody was recording me today. And I realised I put a jumper on that had a stain all the way down it as well. So, I mean,
nobody should ring that
what
close.
a trump. The hair's not done, and the makeup's not on, so we're not recording ourselves today.
We just have really busy to even do anything with videos this week.
We're too busy for life.
We're just too busy, but do you know what? We slotted this in, so you are welcome.
Absolutely. I'm sure they're delighted that they have something to listen to on a Monday morning. It has been a busy week though, hasn't it? Very busy.
You had a birthday.
I had a birthday. I'm 1 year older. Although it gets to a certain stage in your life and I stop counting birthdays. But you still do. You still mark your birthday, don't you?
Do something for my birthday? Yeah, I still like to do something.
See, I would be more than happy for it to go.
But you never were really a big one for... Yeah, I suppose once you got into your 20s, you kind of stopped doing stuff.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I think that my 20th birthday was the last birthday. No, sure, you had that 30th birthday for me, and I was like, no, that's not okay. I just can't have them. I don't want to get any older. Because in my head, I'm still eternally 25 years old.
Okay, I love it. Yeah.
But then you kind of forget, you're conversing with 25-year-olds and then go, oh, hold the phone. I'm actually nowhere near your age.
Well, what was scary was last week we were at my brother-in-law's 40th birthday, which is weird now, and then next weekend we have another 40th birthday, so I'm like, oh,
it's approaching.
These are coming quickly. So even though these people are a good few years older than me,
but they're not a good few years older than me.
I'm like, oh, 40.
You are a hoot. Anytime you talk about age and birthdays, you literally try and make it sound to our listeners like there's about 10 years between you and me. And
6 months.
Exactly. Honest to goodness, you're such a spoofer.
I know, but I just love it because there's 6 months, but it's like a year. Your birth year is different to my birth year.
Okay, get over it. Yes, I've had a birthday. I'm also an uncle.
I know.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so it's all very exciting for our family and my lovely insane brother and his partner Megan. So congratulations to them on the birth of little Esme Eleanor.
She's so cute.
I know.
Eleanor.
She's gorgeous. And it's a little girl, so of course she's going to be singing and dancing in her tutu.
Of course.
Next week.
I love it.
Because I bought the tutu already. She will be a West End Wendy. No. And then we shout out to our lovely friend of the podcast, Raymond Walsh, who we went to see
him
this week,
and the cast
of Les Mis,
the arena,
arena spectacular, and they have kind of billboarded it appropriately, haven't they? It was a spectacular
it was
concert.
Brilliant. It was
really good, and Raymond was absolutely amazing in it.
Raymond really was amazing, and whenever you know somebody in a show, you tend to look out for them anyway, but actually I just couldn't stop looking at him.
You couldn't take your eyes off him.
His reacting was so good, and I think because they were on stage quite a lot as well, It was just lovely, and he just caught your eye. He just has a real natural way on stage.
Listen, the boy is talented,
Yeah.
and it was also just so class to hear our accent up there.
I know.
It was nice hearing a few different accents, but it being in Belfast, it opening in Belfast,
Yeah.
like that was the first venue of this
Yeah.
world tour, which is also kind of exciting for Belfast, isn't it? To then hear a Belfast boy up there, or someone with our accent, it was very, very.
And I love as well because he had
impressive.
mentioned that whenever he was on our pod as a guest, and he had said about how they, the line like, "I volunteer like you."
You.
And then the looking in the mirror twice, obviously, like mirror twice
yeah.
in every splint and RDA. So I don't know if you've seen, no, you wouldn't have, but maybe on Instagram you'll see.
I've seen it.
He's now on TikTok.
Yeah, he's going to be so TikTok famous.
Yeah, but his video that he did, getting all the guys to do, and some of them do his lines.
Exactly.
I love that they were referencing our pod.
He went through round the cast, really, didn't they? Getting them all to try and do a Northern Ireland accent, which is, I think, probably the hardest accent to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of people say that. Interestingly, then I saw today my friend Emily Olive Boyd, who is in the Les Mis in London,
and she
was like, "Hey Raymond, thanks for being the inspo," and she did the same with her company.
I love it. Yeah, we watched that too. It's great, but like, I think on that video alone, like, Raymond has like over 20,000 views
class.
at the minute. So yes, if you are interested, there's loads of them doing actually on TikTok behind the scenes and like what's it like on this arena tour. So they're off to Glasgow at the minute. I would definitely try and follow a couple of them because just getting to know more about what happens in an arena tour like that compared to just a normal production tour.
And I was concerned that like an arena, because for example when Mamma Mia the arena tour came, like I didn't go and see it because I just kind of think, oh my goodness, big. Like musical theatre on that scale, it's like you're too far away from it, it's too big a venue. But I didn't feel that at all, actually. It was so spectacular. Everything was on such a big scale. It was just sensational. It was really good. So all the best to Raymond and the rest of the cast as they go off around.
Well, it's the world.
Around the world, aye.
Around the world.
Yeah.
There's a wee song. Around the world, around the world. I don't know. Obviously, I can't sing it.
The completely left field there. I've no idea what you're referencing.
Okay.
I also met Bradley Jaden and Killian Donnelly. Yeah, they were
the ones that we seen playing Javert and
Jean Valjean. Yeah, and they came to my Les Mis rehearsal on the Wednesday night.
It's
very kind of them. Yeah,
are you?
And that was my birthday night too. It was very nice of them to like take one of their nights off to come and visit a few amateur people who are about to embark on
to them as well. Like, that's lovely, isn't it?
They got talking to our Jean Valjeans and Javers, which was very helpful.
I'm very jealous, I have to say, because I thought the two of them were absolutely outstanding.
Absolutely class, yeah, brilliant. Anyway, shall we get on to our pod today? We are so wrecked because we are working non-stop. Some might say 9 to 5. Lauren, I've practiced that in the car on the way here.
I loved it. It was very good.
It was very good, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, we're talking about the 9 to 5, the musical.
Yeah, it was a bit different from what we've been doing.
Yeah, actually, and I've experienced 9 to 5, but it's been a long time since I even listened to the cast recording, and it was nice, like, researching this episode because I went back and listened to it again. And do you know what? There's a place in my heart for 9 to 5, the Dolly Parton musical based on the 1980s film with music and lyrics by Dolly Parton,
who's just sensationally, wonderfully phantasmagorical in every way.
She's a wonderful lady, isn't she? And I didn't give her enough credit. I wasn't aware. The first thing I've learned, my first musical lyrical lingo, Lauren, that I've learned is I didn't realise she wrote all the music in the musical. I presumed, the likes of 9 to 5 is obviously her song, and maybe one or two of the others, but like across the board, like she she wrote the music and the lyrics. And the music and the lyrics, the songs in this show are really good. I think there's some really underrated musical theatre numbers from this show.
Absolutely. I think that especially, maybe middle-aged women and down should really be looking at these songs and like trying to sing them at maybe like concerts and stuff if they were still doing that. I like them. I like the music.
It features a book by Patricia Resnick based on the screenplay by Resnick and Colin Higgins.
Yes.
Interestingly, there was a wee bit of a lawsuit going on.
Oh, I know. Very strange, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it premiered in LA in September 2008 and then opened in Broadway in April 2009, receiving 15 Drama Desk noms.
Yeah,
the most Drama Desk noms received by a production in a single year.
Whoa.
We don't often talk about the Drama Desk Awards very often, do we?
No.
It's because they only got nominated 4 Tonys and there was no wins. I was like, I may put in some other like critical, critics' stories. Yeah. So then the Broadway production, however, was quite short-lived.
I know, because it opened in Broadway in April 2009 but closed in September 2009.
Yeah, like 5 months,
so
really. 5-6
short.
months. Now, it then was like thrown out into a national US tour, wasn't it, in 2010. And then followed by its UK premiere in 2012. Wasn't it Manchester?
I think it might have been Manchester.
It wasn't straight into town.
No,
because it opened in the West End in
2019.
Yeah, and then there was a UK tour 2021.
Yes.
But after the LA run, this lawsuit was filed by the estate of Colin Higgins. Remember, one of the writers of the screenplay. Yeah. So it was filed by the estate of Colin Higgins against the Higgins' former attorney, who was now representing Resnick, the other writer.
Right, yep.
For the musical's failure to secure Mr. Higgins' stage rights for the musical project.
Oh.
It's a wee bit awkward. Awkward. I wonder what Dolly had to say about it.
Probably not very much.
Islands in the stream.
What? Just bursting into islands in the stream.
Isn't that a Dolly Parton number? It's not in this musical, but it is a wee Dolly number. I went to see a Cher tribute act last night. Bloomin' heck. A Northern Irish Cher tribute act, and she was bloomin' marvellous. Essentially Cher. Look her up on Instagram.
Better than the Cher show?
Honest to goodness, she was. They should have plopped her into the Cher show. It would have been a much better musical.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, she was absolutely brilliant. The costume changes were on point.
Ooh.
The looks, the wigs, and the voice. Like she was able to sing and talk like Cher throughout. Like, so she did like the wee talky bits in between. Like, sure. It's been a long time since I did a Cher impression on this podcast, hasn't it?
Has, yeah.
Anyway, tangent. So yeah, awkward with the lawsuit there.
Lawsuit. But these things happen.
I know.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Love the catchy tunes and insightful discussions on musical lyrical lingo? Why would you not? Now you can reap your fandom. Ooh, we've got fans. And show off your love of all things musical theatre with our exclusive merchandise. Ooh.
From comfy tees,
T-shirts,
mugs to stylish tote bags, we have something for every fan. Our designs are inspired by the show's iconic themes.
Because we are so iconic.
And featured playful quotes, alpha, and graphics that will have you humming along.
I will never work again.
Wherever you go.
So head over to our merch store now and start shopping. Spend your money, people. And don't forget to share your pics on our social media using #podcast musical lyrical lingo merch. We love to see our fans rocking our gear.
Yes, we do. Happy shopping.
No, it's true. Do you have the plot there?
Yeah,
because I forgot to write it down.
My headphones.
I could tell you, but I'll blab on a bit and go around the world for a shortcut.
Okay,
What's the plot?
I have a very basic plot.
I mean, I think
But,
the plot is kind of
I was gonna
basic,
say,
isn't it?
Like, I don't think it's not rocket science, okay? And I don't mean that degrading. So 9 to 5 tells the story of 3 women pushed to boiling point by their sexist boss. The 3 ladies concoct a plan to kidnap him, which creates some chaos. So,
They tie him up and suspend him from the roof, don't they?
I mean, they do quite a few things, and he still isn't. Once he's tied up and realizes that these women are out to kind of get him, he's not like, oh, I stopped being bad. He's still.
Oh no, he's a misogynistic pig. He's never going to change.
He's not a nice character.
But trying to work out how you tie somebody up and suspend them from the roof in an amateur production.
Oh,
that's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure that is fun.
There wasn't a bar that was going to hold that up, let me tell you. So yeah, it kind of gets his comeuppance, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And the girls have their day, and yeah, it is a super important musical for girl power.
And I think that's definitely how the film was.
I've never seen the film.
I've never seen the film either. All I know is that those 3 fabulous women are in the film.
Yeah, and so Dolly Parton, she played Dora Lee, didn't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then who were the 2 other women in the?
The same women from Grace and Frankie, and their names have completely just
for goodness sake, Lauren, did you not write them down in your notes?
No, here, hold on.
I thought you would have the background. Whilst you're looking up who the original 3 were in the film, when it opened in Broadway, Alison Janney, Stephanie J. Block, who we've talked about. Funny, she was a Cher in the original Cher show in Broadway. And Megan Hilty, who we know from Smash fame. She was bloody brilliant in Smash.
Amazing.
That was the first time I came across Megan Hilty.
Same too.
And then when I was doing an amateur production of the Glee's 9 to 5, obviously I listened to the soundtrack, and she's in the soundtrack, and I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. Yeah.
And she was also Glinda in Wicked.
And yes, you were aware of her. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, the 3 ladies, and they're all still friends today. So Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda.
That's it, Jane Fonda. The film was basically written for Jane Fonda, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was the first one they wanted to sign up on the dotted line. When it opened it did open in Manchester Opera House in 2012. It was Jackie Clune, Natalie Casey, Amy Lennox, and then this is when Bonnie Langford first made her 9 to 5 appearance as Roz, the crazed secretary who fancies the pants off. Franklin, is it Franklin J. Hart?
Franklin J. Hart Jr. Yeah,
Franklin J. Hart Jr., the misogynistic pig. Yeah. Roz is a really funny role, really funny role. Then when it opened in the West End, in the Savoy Theatre, Amber Davies, who
it's amazing.
Who at the time everybody was like, oh my goodness, because was she on Love Island or something? She was on some reality TV, right? And then she got loads of crap basically about who's this Love Islander appearing in the West End. But what people didn't realise was she'd trained prior to.
Yeah.
So leave her alone. Do you know what I mean?
And she's got a really fun podcast.
She's got a brilliant podcast. I listen to it all the time.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah, check out Amber Davies' podcast. She gets to interview loads of people in the biz.
Oh, she does. She does.
Do you think she'd come on this?
Well, I mean, all we could do is ask.
That's true.
Called A Stage is her podcast.
Called A Stage, Amber Davies' podcast. Do listen to it. It's really good for all you stages out there. Just make sure if you start listening to hers, you do continue to listen to ours. Because we got you first.
Absolutely.
And leave a wee review and a wee like, share. Christmas present. Wrap us up in a box and give them to your friends for Christmas. There's merchandise, mugs, tea towels, t-shirt. Have we tea towels? We do now.
We do
Tote bags. We've got everything.
We've got them all.
So yes, no, Amber Davies was in the West End production, along with Louise Redknapp and Natalie McQueen.
Yes.
And then Bonnie Langford appeared again as Roz to Brian Connolly's Franklin J. Hart Jr.
Yeah, and I have a wee soft spot for Brian Connolly. I quite like
Oh my goodness, he's like pure ham. He's like double ham in a sandwich. Very hammy, but he was right for the musical. Yeah.
I quite like him.
And then David Hasselhoff. Sadly, I missed his. He played Franklin J. Hart from December to February 2020, just before COVID.
Yeah, I'm not sure about him.
I'm not so sure about him either. However, it gets a bit of a hard time, this musical, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think because it didn't have such a great record on Broadway. I think it's a fab Amdram show.
I agree.
Think that you can really get your teeth into this.
1000%, until you have to try and like suspend
I
him
was
from
going
the
to say,
roof.
I think people loved the movie, and it also I think it had a bit of a backlash because it was so, like women and women's rights and all of that.
Which is just ridiculous. Why this is why there's so many issues with our world. How can that cause a backlash? I don't get it.
No, I know. And then I don't know. I think there's something in it. It's not that people love Dolly Parton and they love her music. They just didn't warm to this as a musical. And I remember speaking to somebody else about this. It reminds me of Witches of Eastwick without the devil.
I love Witches of Eastwick too. We haven't done that on the podcast either.
There's about 50,000 musicals we have not done.
Interestingly, sidestep, I auditioned for an amateur production of what's it called? Witches, playing like the young boy character.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know who was up against me and got the part over me?
Who?
Raymond Walsh.
Oh, there you go.
It's all right. He's gone on to bigger and better things. I forgive him for it. Like, I hadn't hope, really. In hindsight, did I? Anyway, tangent.
Tangent. I think I also just fixed my mic, so I do apologise. The first while of that, I was shouting at people. I think I had it up instead of turned it down, so apologies.
You did that on purpose. You just want people to hear you more than me.
No.
See, tiredness. Do you know the New York Times? Do you know what the New York Times called this show?
No.
It's a great put down. They called it an overinflated whoopee cushion.
Oh.
Isn't that a great put down? Like unfair and unjust, but hilarious.
Yeah, no.
And it called it a gaudy and empty musical, which I think's unfair.
Yeah, no, I don't think that. I don't. We've talked about this before. There's some shows which suit being in town or being in London, West End, and being there for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And there's some which are good as little like flighty musicals which
UK
come
tours,
in, and then there's
tours.
ones which just sit being on tour.
And this is one of them, I think.
And I think this is a good touring show.
I agree.
I don't think it should 1 minute be in the West End and then come out and then a year later go in again. I don't think it needs to be in and out.
Yeah.
But I do think it needs to be on tour.
And do you think, it's just come into my head, so I'll ask the question, do you think the initial reaction to it wasn't as favourable, or the fact that it didn't last in that first Broadway run was because people had heard, there was a lot of press of Dolly Parton's musical. Do you think people were coming to it expecting to hear a jukebox musical of Dolly's songs?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
And then maybe there wasn't a huge amount of people familiar with people know 9 to 5 the song, but maybe a huge people don't know
the
9 to 5 the film. So then we're maybe a bit confused. So I think that's why Here I Go Again, the Dolly Parton musical, will be more successful.
There's another one?
Yeah.
She's doing a second?
It's on tour at the minute. It's
Stop it. Here I go again.
And this is all of her music.
This is all right, okay. This is her back catalogue. Right, got you. It'll be interesting then to see the difference.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. It's kind of cool though at the beginning of 9 to 5, Dolly comes up on the clock and talks directly to the audience and stuff.
I have never seen it.
Oh, it's really cool. Even the Amdram, the package that you get sent, sent Dolly, a video
amazing.
of Dolly, and she's like, howdy folks, and welcome to this, and she's like, put your mobile phones away, and it's Dolly, and it's that's not a good Dolly impression, I understand.
But yeah.
Cher's definitely my forte.
That's true.
But yeah, no, it's kind of cool.
Okay, that's cool.
I
haven't seen it. I know that they're... It's one that I know that has been around and I want to see, and I probably will see it, but I've just listened to a soundtrack.
Have I made it up? Is there a chat of 2024-25 tour? Or have I made that up? I might have totally fabricated that.
I haven't heard that.
Okay. I've made that up, maybe.
Well, you maybe haven't. You've maybe said it now, and then producers are going to go,
But
here.
yeah, you know what happens on this pod? All we have to do is absolutely utter it, and it happens.
Exactly.
Okay, well, we talk about our musical lyrical lingos then.
Yeah, so in the song Around Here.
Around Here.
So this is where, I've forgotten the characters' names, but they're showing...
It would be... They're showing
Alison
Judy.
Janey's character is showing Megan Hilty around.
Yes.
No. Other way around?
No, because Megan Hilty is Dora Lee.
Oh.
The blonde. She is Dolly.
Yeah,
Dora
sorry.
Lee is Dolly. It's... I just said it. What did I just say? Judy.
Judy.
Right. So Judy is new to the office.
Yes.
And is it Vivian?
I don't know. I don't know the characters' names.
That's so annoying. I've done this show.
Well, she's showing her around the office and how you do things here. So it's called Around Here. And it says, here's your mimeograph.
Yeah.
So this movie the movie was set in 1980s, and the
Mimeograph?
Yeah, I can't say it.
Here's your mimeograph.
And the musical is of the same time period. So that is carbon paper, which was like a duplicator, and it was before a photocopier.
I know.
Like, we are so blessed to now have a photocopier.
Oh, you've no idea. I remember back in the day going into Mum's office and seeing a fax machine and being absolutely blown away by it. Like,
really?
We've come a long way since fax machines and mimeographs. Yeah, because the line is, here's your mimeograph and the carbon paper, there's the intercom, there's a phone, and there's a stapler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Well, I knew what a phone and a stapler was.
But did you know your carbon paper? I didn't realise the two were linked.
Oh, yeah. So,
until I did the research.
Yeah, so I knew that carbon paper because you remember in retail, like before chip and pin and contactless, and before you could pay with debit cards,
Lauren,
you could only pay with credit cards.
Yes, and they did the whole...
You know, it was like watching our parents do this. You like put the credit card forward, and then it went like this. It was like the weirdest thing. You put the credit card in this piece of plastic, put the carbon paper over it, and then slid this other thing over it, and it took up an imprint of the card.
Because, I mean, that was really financially safe, wasn't it? Way of doing things.
And then it just had all your card details on this piece of paper.
Totally
which
mental.
Eventually then disintegrates,
does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise carbon paper disintegrates.
Well, like the numbers and all, like, eventually went off or rubbed off.
Okay. You see, you said remember in retail, but I have actually never been in retail.
I know. You've
Hospitality all the way.
Never worked in retail.
Hostess with the most.
Well,
you won't see me in retail.
They would have done it in hospitality too. It was a way to pay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Whenever we were working, it was like just prior to that, but we definitely would have seen that carbon paper. And also now, like, it's quite hard to get those wee books where you need to make a duplicate copy.
Yeah, there's some forms we still, actually, no, even they've gone. When I started doing my job, like, there were a few forms that we would have had to fill in. We needed like 3 copies, and that's exactly what they used. Like, it was carbon paper.
I actually, I would go out and like assess people in the workplace.
Yes.
So I used to have like a duplicate copy. It was like a triplicate copy of thing, and we would write like what we seen and what we expect to see the next time and all of that. And then we would have kept a copy, give a copy to the employer, and then give a copy to the...
the transfer forms, like transferring kids from primary school to secondary school, they would have always, like, all of those forms were filled out by hand.
Gosh,
and
you're so old.
I know, but it doesn't happen anymore. It's all online. Interestingly, the show starts with Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 musical. Dum 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 dum.
And fun fact about that, which I'm sure everybody knows.
Don't, because I'm about to say it.
Go for it.
So, one of the few 9 to 5, the actual song was one of the few Billboard chart songs to feature the clacking of a typewriter.
Oh.
Yeah. Parton stated in numerous interviews that when she wrote the song, she devised the clacking typewriter rhythm by running her acrylic fingernails back and forward against one another. That's what you were going to say, wasn't it?
I can do it. because, like, if
You have big long nails.
well, yeah, but they've got like gel on them.
Oh,
But I can't, but, like,
did you hear that there?
oh, I did again.
Don't do it again. You might chip a nail, and I don't want you shouting at me. Don't. So there you go.
don't know if
9
that
to
works.
5 was also the second highest grossing film in 1980,
Whoa.
earning more than $100 million at the box office.
Imagine getting $100
Do you know
million.
what film was the highest
Wizard of
grossing?
Oz?
Nope. Empire Strikes Back, I've got.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Wizard of Oz that same year? No, Wizard of Oz is so much older. What are you talking about,
Wizard of Oz in the
Dafty?
30s.
Do you know that the studio also wanted a sequel to 9 to 5, the film?
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Why? Like, what would the sequel
I
be?
don't know. Hold on, I'll phone them up and ask them. Excuse me, Dolly, I was just wondering, we do this podcast, you see, and we were just wondering, why did the studio want a sequel?
Well, that was just like corporation greed. They just wanted to make money.
Maybe.
There was no need for the story to have a sequel.
And Dolly only agreed to star in the film if she was allowed to write the theme song.
Oh.
Well done, Dolly, stamping your
Dolly's
mark.
the best.
Dolly is class. However, I haven't watched the Dolly Netflix musical thing.
Oh.
I know. I've heard.
Yeah.
And I've just stayed clear. Is
Yeah.
that the right thing to
Yeah,
do?
the Christmas one, the Christmas special.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's do you know, remember I made you watch the first episode of Schmigadoon and you loved it?
I did.
That's what it's like, but for real. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So, yeah.
In Smigadoon, it's acceptable.
Yes.
I'm not sure it's acceptable anywhere else. Anyway, have you any other musical lyrical
I've
linguists?
got here for you the language in that song. He sings.
Oh, that's it. Franklin J. Hart's song, isn't it?
Just
Oh, he's
gross.
horrible.
It's just gross.
Yeah.
It's just gross. And then I was like, do you know what? I have to like.
Gross because he's not saying bad language, guys. It's because
It's
he's just being
sexual language.
misogynistic, horrible man.
But one line, which it's not a musical lyric, but it just really turned me.
It gave you the ick, did it?
I won't flinch until I quench my thirst from her sweet cup. Those sweet cups.
Yeah.
I was like,
horrible.
No, I just don't. But I thought it was great writing.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good writing, as in a way, because obviously, you know, especially in films and movies, you're hearing a lot about what these characters are before you meet them. And then your first introduction to them, they've really got to sell. So this song, I think, really makes you go, yeah, I can see why those girls want to get their own back on him.
1000%. There's a song that Dolly Parton's character, Dorothy, sings, and it's called I'm Just a Backwoods Barbie.
Yep.
And she sings like Barbie or the models in Frederick's catalogue.
Yep, I had that too.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know what that Frederick's catalogue was. So Frederick's of Hollywood was the leading US intimate apparel retailer with an emphasis on racier clothing and other items.
But I think mainly lingerie. Racy lingerie.
So it was like Victoria's Secret before Victoria's Secret. I think actually the arrival of Victoria's Secret kind of like nearly not killed Fredericks off, but kind of became a real
threat to it.
Yeah.
It ran from 1989 to 2015. So it hasn't been gone that long. Like,
Okay.
I still think 2015 was like 5 years ago, but
I mean, you still think you're 12 when you're
yes.
talking about birthdays and stuff. So
but yeah. And I love that because that's like a little nod to Dolly as well, because the way Dolly dresses is because she was so fascinated with a woman in town that she thought was like beautiful, and everybody said that she wasn't, you know, like I don't know, it's always alluded to like the woman that Dolly dresses herself like was maybe a prostitute or something.
Aw.
But she was like, she looked at pictures and she was like, I really think that they're beautiful, and I love that this has been included in this song.
Yeah, and she, I don't know if it's this song or if it's in one of Dorley's other songs. She also sings a line about don't judge a woman by her push-up bra and pants. Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter what you look like or what you dress like, you know, you gotta give, you know, her the fair.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't judge, but push up brand pants. Dorley sings with a southern accent, guys, just in case you're wondering what I'm doing there.
What I like about this musical is, and because it happens in the film as well, only through this research I know this, is that they kind of let you know what happens, you know, like, and then Dorley goes on to do this, and like Roz, you know, goes on to do this, and I like it, like it's a little roundup, and you're like, you feel like you've been with them that whole journey or something.
Oh god, yeah. Like it's cleverly written. Like you 100 they write Franklin J. Hart so outrageously awful that you can't but absolutely hate him.
Yeah.
But it also, you know, each of the women have their own, like, her, apart from that kind of like misogynistic boss, they also have their own hurdles to like overcome. You've got Dorley, who's judged because how she looks. You've got Judy, whose is it husband has just, you know, left her and is being really horrible. And you've got, I'm really annoyed, I can't remember that third character's name. Violet.
That's it, well done.
And then you've got Violet, who's a single parent. Do you know what I mean? Of a son who randomly smokes weed.
Yes.
That is a funny scene when the three girls all like get together and have a wee smoke, and it's so funny.
And I like as well because their songs are all in their character, and it's all them visualizing what it is they would do to Franklin, isn't that right?
That's
then it's Dorley who's like, no, I'm gonna go on and do this.
That's it, yeah.
And like, this needs to happen. So yeah, it's quite fun.
They all smoke a little bit of you know what, and then they have these fantasy dreams. So Judy's song is called The Dance of Death, where she's like a real seductress in the black dress and like is toying with him, almost like James Bondy kind of feel. Then you've got Cowgirl's Revenge, which is obviously great. Dora Lee's, and she's tying him up, and then she's, what's that thing called when you take a really hot poker and like branding, you know, branding them and stuff. And then you've got, which takes you completely bonkers, Potion Notion it's called, where Violet is like, you know, like a warped version of Snow White, like concocting these potions to give him. Hilarious, like absolutely hilarious.
Great part for.
However,
what?
When I went to see it in the West End, those were all cut.
What?
They completely changed that kind of like sequence. Now there was an element of fantasy, but those individual numbers, as far as I can remember, because I remember when we did it, apart from suspending Franklin J. Hart from the roof, I might have mentioned it a couple of times. Honest to God, the sleepless nights we had trying to work out how the heck we were doing that. But the second probably biggest challenge was these dream sequences, just because they were all so, you know, the staging of them, and that one like glued into the next. Do you know what I mean? So it went from one fantasy, and it was like, it was just crazy to get my head round. And I do remember coming away going, well, aren't they chancers? Like literally they have cut or rewritten all of the bits of this show that were the hardest bits to do. Do you know what I mean? And I was going, I mean, like, could they not have made those rewrites before they put it out for release and licensing to amateur groups? It would have it would have saved an awful lot of headaches. Anyway, but funny, that's one of my standing ovations, those dream sequences, because they are so hilariously funny.
Well, as somebody who hasn't seen it and it's just obviously listened to the cast recording, they come across, and you can kind of get their characters in those songs too. So it's interesting that they took them out. Yeah.
No, it definitely was them.
Yeah.
That
strange.
They removed, and I think they replaced it with a number.
Right, okay.
That wasn't as good, do you know what I mean? Or as catchy, like as you said at the beginning there, they all have their own individual style, like linked to the character, do you know what I mean? But anyway, do you have any other?
That's me.
Yeah.
That's me.
Stand ovations or any? Is there? I know you haven't seen it, so is there any songs that really stand out to you?
No, I think I really liked Backwood Barbie. because I really like that. Obviously, she struggles with. Obviously, she dresses and looks the way she looks because it makes her feel good. But then the reaction she gets from other people is the thing that she doesn't like. So it's kind of that, like, do I stop doing something I enjoy because it means then somebody's going to treat me better? Or but then that means I'll not feel good myself 24/7. So I like that song. Yeah.
I think 9 to 5 has one of the... I think we need to do this sometime because I think I've referenced this a couple of times on the podcast. I think 9 to 5 has one of the best Act 1 finale numbers.
Okay. Yes,
so,
we need to do this.
Yeah, don't we? The number of times I've mentioned, you know, it's a great song to end the first half on. We should do like our top 10 like Act 1 finale numbers or something like that.
I'm going to write it down.
It is brilliant. So Shine Like the Sun is where they basically have kidnapped him.
Yep.
And they're basically singing about a brighter day to come. But the song is like, well done, Dolly. Hats off to Dolly. Cowboy hats off to Dolly. Because it's really good and it's like proper empowering and like shine like the sun. It's so good. It's a brilliant number. I also love Change It. So he's tied up in one of their houses and Violet is in charge of the office and she changes everything in the office.
I love
and
that.
It's really good.
Because she's been pretty much doing his work for him because he just is a shit.
Bad language on the podcast.
Yes. I love that she's gone in and everybody's happier and productivity is up.
She's
and
like,
all of
well,
that.
change it. Yeah, really good. And then the last number that I think stands out for me is Get Out and Stay Out.
Okay.
Which is Judy's song that she sings about her husband going, do you know what it is? I'm a stronger woman than you.
Yeah.
Get out and stay out. I don't need you or your nonsense.
Yeah, and that's her finding her feet and finding her comfort in her new self.
Yeah, but I mean, for a melt your face number, Get Out and Stay Out will melt your face. It's a proper belter. Like, it's a class song.
Yeah.
See, there's a lot going for this show. Now, I left when I saw it in the West End going, oh, do you know what? I'm glad I saw it. Yes, they've cut out all the difficult bits. But it also didn't feel like a West End show, as you said earlier. Do you know what I mean? I was like, this is a brilliant show. I truly believe it's a really underrated show. I think you're right. It is perfect for like youth groups and, amateur theatre. It is such a good show. I don't know why it's not done more often. Like, the numbers are brilliant. It's such good fun.
Chorus because
it's
of those
amazing
bigger numbers. So it's not like it's just those three.
Listen, the company
girls.
I did that show with were brilliant for picking shows that involved ensemble and big company. They always thought that, they didn't think about two-hand, shows that, had one or two leads. They were great for picking what shows can we do that we can involve as many people as we can. Yeah. Which, and this was one of them, and it was really, really excellent. Yeah. It was a really fun show to do. The script's hilarious.
No, I think that if you can see it, and maybe there'll be a 2024, 25 or 25, 26 world tour. Timothy's just putting it out there.
Don't worry, they've heard us. You watch this space.
Go and see it.
What on earth will you do if tomorrow morning you wake up to what's on stage announcing it? Honest to goodness. You leave it with me.
Love it. I think it's something that if it does come to a town near you or an Amdram are definitely doing it, go check it out. Because I think you'll leave the theatre feeling satisfied.
Oh, 1,000%. It's a feel good musical, totally feel good. And Bonnie Langford also did the splits in that show and then was dragged across the stage from one side to the other whilst in the splits. Honest to goodness, that woman does the split. Yeah, we saw Bonnie Langford in Les Mis this week, and she was also in the splits. Yeah, she was also in the splits. I never thought I'd see the day where Madame T went down into the splits, but she did. She'll get it in there somewhere.
Absolutely.
There we go. Do you have a favourite Dolly number?
No. Like in general?
As
like
in
a Dolly
as
song?
in Dolly song? No, like Island.
I mean, I Will Always Love You.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows Whitney.
Fun fact, I adore Whitney and love Whitney and idolised Whitney, still do. I didn't realise that that was Dolly Parton's song.
Like that.
Until much later, much later in my life.
No, because I love Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Love that musical.
And is it Dolly?
Dolly's in it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't
and
even
she sings
listened.
that in it.
No way.
Yes.
Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't listened to that musical soundtrack, actually. What? A musical soundtrack that I haven't listened to? That's ridiculous. Guess what I'm listening to this week? Talking about musical soundtracks, the Sunset Boulevard, Nicole Scherzinger, Tom Francis one is coming out very soon, and I am literally like
woke up this morning it was the first show last night.
Yeah,
Broadway,
that's right. Yeah,
and people are going
mental.
Crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear that cast recording though.
Crazy.
I think I've known it's coming out, or they released the release date about 4 months ago, and honest to goodness, it's countdown. The beginning of next month, we're nearly there.
There you go, nearly there.
Anyway, on to next week.
On to next week.
I am excited for next week.
Are you excited for
very
next
much
week?
so, because it's a bit of a left field choice.
Yeah, it is very different.
And it is a show I have admired for years.
And it is one of the shows that if I had to put if I had to do a collage of you and you in the middle and maybe 10, I'll go 10 because you like a lot. Playbills around your face or cast recordings around your face. This would definitely be in the top 4.
Seriously.
Because I don't know why, and we'll talk about it next week. But every time I see it, I think of you straight away.
This is really weird. Come back next week for next week's musical. I can't wait to continue this conversation.
Okay, love it.
Because I do love next week's show.
I know. Well, thank you for
until
joining
then,
us. Yeah.
Go listen to some Dolly and don't be working too hard.
No.
I can't stand people that don't work 9 to 5. Do you know that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologise.
Honest to goodness, don't know you're living.
I'm an entrepreneur, so I work 9 to 12.
Okay, yeah.
Is that all right?
I'm an educator. I actually don't work 9 to 5. I just work every hour God sends me.
But not during the summer.
Until next week. Don't even go there. That is a battle you do not want to start.
I am obviously on your side. Now
You're
stop
poking
it.
a bear. I am away to listen to Islands in the Stream to calm me down. Until next week.
Bye.
Bye.